Okay, given that the microphone's here, I don't think I'm going to run any questions.
No. But I will run. You can't. Just say, don't be startled if Dave. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are good. Really good.
It's good? Greg and I had a huge lunch, like at 3:30.
Oh,
So we're like, I can't even like look at this.
I had a kind of a crappy lunch at one.
Guess what Greg had? Prime rib for $7.99 at the.
Probably not gonna make it.
There's a place across from the Palms, or
No, in the Palms.
okay.
All right. Greg, you'll do the new tech logo on that side. Okay.
Their demos are going to be on this side.
Yeah, we're rolling right now, so
We're live.
Yeah, we're live right now, so I could go to that. You want to put the logo up, or you want to put the roll, or what do you want to do?
Nothing moving.
Just the landing page, maybe. Okay.
The landing page works, or if you want, just the image preview full size.
Sounds good.
Okay. 7:46. Everybody's kind of waiting. I'm waiting.
You know, there's about 2 people coming up. Wait for the 2 people coming
Who?
from the food line. Michael Turpin and...
Did you know Michael prior to this whole deal?
You know Michael?
I was introduced to him via Steven. Do you know Steven
Steven.
Mason?
I just met him. Yeah, the guy I interviewed. Yeah.
Do you know Sharon Barclay
Her name is super fun.
from back? She's PR in San Francisco.
Michael's hyper connected out here.
Yeah.
He's never fun.
Yeah.
Hyper connected in general.
I had a
He's super successful.
good exit, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
That was the that life science.
Future Insight. It's been not as strong as previously, so unfortunately. But they get a lot of I'm surprised. I mentioned it to him, but I said this place was downtown. I thought it was so long. Let's leave it out there.
So,
You took a cab here, yes?
no, we rented a car.
Oh, right back to mine. On the end.
It's already out. I have to put the seats on the back.
Crazy husband, though, from a dating point of view, actually sounds
We haven't tested that. We need to check.
Hey, Ethan, bring your phone up. He has a dongle for actually for iPhone.
It's been a long week, ready to go.
Yeah. Been on the roll.
Well, it's pretty easy to tell.
Yeah. Let's check this out. Yeah. Yep, that would be great.
Miles, we're gonna turn on the house
Back in
lights.
just a sec.
Miles, we're gonna turn on the house lights. Right. It's gonna be hard to see the screen.
The fluorescent.
So Miles is
For my own thing for 6 years.
what I was asking. Was that
No, I have my own, essentially have my own brand. The companies hire us to create media for them. Create tons of editorial content.
and that's what you were doing this week.
Right. 2/3 of our business is going to conferences and trade shows and just interviews.
But from a brand
Well, brand in the sense that I got a microphone that says the company name on it and burns the logo in the corner, but not brand in that we just cover whatever the editorial is. We're not forcing any content. Whatever the editorial event, as long as it's in line, because we will go and go to an event that's in line with whatever the brand is interested in. So the brand is sending me, company sending me development. They're just interested in developers. So anything that could interest developers, I did specifically mobile development right now. So just covering the issues of mobile development.
they have content they put on the side.
Put it on their blog. It's a big relationship building.
Let's see what he puts up. Let's see what he puts up.
Otherwise, it's gonna be way too dark.
We don't want to.
These then there would be.
Just put his notes on here.
Is that not good? Is that not dark enough for you? Is this not dark enough for you?
Yeah, I was just worried about the screen.
No, it's black. You can't see it. Well, once the light's coming through, it'll look fine.
All right, he's got it.
Can I assume that you are the guardian for this channel?
I am. Yeah.
So I'm going to be shooting some videos. Is it okay that I get
Absolutely
them on?
fine. Yes.
Okay.
And it can be streamed.
Well, he's streaming right now, but
Yeah.
I'm shooting. I just want to make sure that I get
Sure.
it's okay that I get you on here.
I appreciate you checking for sure.
Well, it's kind of a law.
Kind of the law. I appreciate that you follow the laws.
David, you mean to have a fork in your breast
Oh,
pocket there?
you know what? I did because I was going to see if I needed it, but I don't anymore. I finished the tacos with my hands. So, you just give him a bit.
What should I say? What is it?
Just say that I'm
Shooting for.
No, I'm shooting for you guys. This stuff's going to go. David's shooting stuff for the SF New Tech blog and New Tech blog. So he'll be around. The live will be on. Whatever.
Okay, I'm not going to wait any longer.
Do it up. It's almost 8, so it's your start time. Ooh, that was good.
Hey guys. Thanks for coming and joining us tonight. I know there are a million and one things to do, and you chose to join us here, so that's awesome. We have been on the road for the last couple of days, checking into different cities, shining a light on some awesome technology that's going on. And when we first set out on this adventure, we tried to pick and choose areas that were really popping or had some bubbling awesomeness going on. And Vegas was on the short list, so good for you on that one. Okay, this is how it's going to be tonight. Yeah, so I run a group in San Francisco called SF New Tech. We've been producing an event in the city for over 7 years where at least once a month we bring together about 200 people, much like you guys, developers, startup CEOs, investors, media, you name it, to come down and support the technology community, wherein 6, 7, 8 startups come up on stage to give live presentations of what they've been working on. And it's a really vibrant, awesome community. And we've been growing by leaps and bounds, and for the last year or so, we've partnered up. Well, I don't want to say partnered; that's a strong word, but Outlook and Microsoft have been supporting us, and we had this discussion on how we can kind of take it to the next level. And we had this idea: why don't we go on the road? And they were like, "Let's do it." So that's why we're here. We put a call out not too long ago to the community here to see who might be interested in participating. And tonight we have initially 6 companies that applied to demo, and 1 late edition over here with Thread Bias. And from what I understand, most, if not all, of these companies are at the cream of the crop of what you guys have going on here. So I think, at least for me, this is super special. I haven't seen these presentations before. Maybe you guys have, and congrats to you for sitting through them again and again, if that's the case. That's cool. Quick note also, Tony Stilling, who you may have met from Outlook, has been on tour with us as well. Tony is giving away tons of swag. We are not going back to California with T-shirts, so please take them with you. Give them away as
take 3.
3, 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah, your entire family needs to be wearing Outlook.com T-shirts by now.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the giveaways as well.
That's right, and we're giving away some awesome. I'm using that word too much tonight. Somebody throws something at me next time I say that. We're giving away SkyDrive storage. We're giving away Xbox.
We've got Xbox Live 12-month subscription, Xbox Live Gold, and some Windows 8 licenses.
Windows 8 licenses as well. So good stuff. We didn't collect business cards at the entrance, but what we'll do is we'll find something to collect them in and maybe pass it around, and we'll do the drawing later on. I want to give a heads up also. David Spark is here, also in town from San Francisco. He may have cornered you already. If he hasn't, he will. So just be aware that he might put a camera in your face.
Like if you're asking a question or something.
If you're asking a question, or yeah. So he's cool. Don't worry about it. Also, Greg Valoria has been on the road with us as well. Greg is handling much of our production and social stream. We are currently streaming this live over the internets. The hashtag for tonight, if you're tweeting, and we hope you are, is New Tech Tour and or SFNT. That's our home turf hashtag. But please invite people to join us in the room. Let's get more eyeballs on what's going on here. One of the benefits to these companies presenting tonight is they all have a free pass to present on our stage in San Francisco if and when they're in town. And also, we are going to be doing a poll via Wedgie, local company. Yes, good reporter, right?
Wedgie.
Yeah, Wedgie. Is he still here? No. So yeah, we're gonna do a poll, and we're also gonna do a request for feedback email. So after the event, you'll get an email from us asking for some more feedback. We're gonna use that to gauge interest and traction, and with that. We have 2 venture firms from the Bay Area who have agreed to take a pitch or 2 that we've recommended to them based on those criteria and our recommendation. So that's big thanks to GGV Capital and our friends at Hummer Winblatt. I want to say big thanks to the Innovation Center for hosting us tonight. Yeah. Great space you guys have here. A little far away, but that's okay. You're here to work, not play, right? And I want to thank Stephen Mason for initially hooking me up with a lot of the players here in town. Thank you, Stephen. You want to say something quick, Stephen, from your seat, maybe? Or
Does the microphone reach?
here we go.
So the only thing I was going to say is something real brief about the intersection of focus and innovation. And you think that those things don't really make a lot of sense because if you're innovating, you're supposed to be innovating out of chaos, thriving on chaos, as Tom Peters said. There's actually an interesting connection. You want to innovate out of chaos, but once you're innovating and focused on an idea, you want to stick with this idea. Because what you find a lot of firms do is they decide that they are going to these things called boil the ocean, and so they try to do everything. So you want to have this, out of all this chaos, you basically have to form your own universe. Once you form that universe, just stick to what you're doing best. Find one market where you can absolutely dominate. And if that's all you do at any time, there's anything else, look at it as noise. Throw it away. The hardest thing to do when you're growing a company is to say no. If you can say no a lot of times when somebody's offering you about $20 million in vacation, you might want to say yes. Then you will end up with a much better path to real success and to the highest possible valuation. And that's about it.
Thank you, Stephen. Stephen, it's pretty bright in here, huh?
Absolutely. This is my Jack Nicholson look. My glasses are matched. Next, you're going to see me at a Lakers game. Oh, wait a minute. The Lakers aren't.
Okay, that's pretty much it for the ads. What do we say we get some demos going? So everybody's going to get 5 minutes on this big clock that we've been dragging around the country. We're big on accountability. So 5 minutes for a live presentation. If we see PowerPoint tonight, feel free to boo and throw stuff at them. That's okay. Then we'll reset the clock and we'll have 5 minutes for a Q&A. Usually I have a microphone and I'm able to kind of run around.
We have mics, do you want?
For here and now?
Oh, do we not?
No. That's okay. It's a small, it's an intimate room. So yeah, so just, raise your hand, or, just if you pipe up, that should work fine. And then we'll just, in quick succession, we've got 7 companies. After which, if you guys are into it, we also, at each one of our events, we have what we call our 60-second soapbox. And that's an opportunity for anybody in the community to come up and say something quick. If you're working on something and need help, or if you're promoting an event, if you're looking for funding, if you've got money to spend, here's an opportunity to kind of broadcast out to the room. Also, again, we are streaming this live, and it goes wide from there. So take the opportunity if you want. If not, cool. Doesn't matter to me. Let's do this. So first up is a young fellow by the name of Ethan Dugan. Duggan, excuse me. Who's 42, but he looks 12. And I think he's actually the youngest presenter we've ever had. So big round of applause for Ethan.
Can the people in the back hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, my name is Ethan Duggan. I am 12 years old. My app is Lazy Husband. So, what it is I was sitting at home. My mom comes home with like 50 some odd dresses, and she goes into her room, tries them on, goes to me and asks, "How do I look?" I say, "You look great," because that's what I always say when she asks that. So, I do this like 5-10 times, and I realize I have a smartphone in my hand. So, I pull it out and I go to video and I say, "You look great," and a bunch of other phrases. So whenever she comes back into the room, I just say, "You look great." So I decided to turn that into an app. So I went to codecademy.com and I taught myself JavaScript with the help of my dad. I learned HTML from staring at other people who knew what they were doing at HTML. I also learned CSS from Jeff Sanders from LaunchKey. So I'm using PhoneGap, and I created this app. You can record and play your own phrases. So we have, "You look amazing today."
We just switched up to go with the live demo on the iPhone, so we're just checking the volume here.
Oh, you're going to be there. Let's see, that should work.
So, I have a joke. There are 3 guys in a car. There's a computer engineer, a mechanic, and a guy who works at a call center. The car starts making weird noises, so they pull it over. The mechanical engineer says, "I'll open up the hood and I'll whack it with a wrench. That'll fix it." The computer engineer says, No. I'll hook up my computer, we'll find the error code, and we'll fix it from there." The guy from the call center says, "Have you tried turning it off and on again?" I'm totally ripping that off from the Google Glass presentation.
I'm not sure.
So, one of the best phrases that we have is,
You look amazing today. they're in my voice anyway, so we'll just make this literally a live demo.
you can also edit each of the phrases, so I can say, "We love Vegas Tech." Then I can save that, and then I can also record it. So on the count of 3, everyone yell, "We love Vegas Tech." 1, 2, 3.
Now just yell that back again.
That's funny. That's good.
So we ran a contest a couple of weeks ago, and so we had tweet at Lazy Husband app your best Lazy Husband PG phrases. And so the winner is Patrick Breen over there with his Lazy Husband t-shirt. The winner is Honey, you are absolutely right.
Honey, you are absolutely right.
So we have a list of other features that we want to implement into this. One of them is being able to buy flowers through the app. Another one is being able to have it give you random suggestions on nice things to do, like bring someone out to dinner, buy people flowers, etc., buy chocolates. And we also have Lazy Kid and Lazy Wife, and all of them are available on Android and Kindle. And Lazy Husband and Lazy Kid are on iPhone, but Lazy Wife isn't because there are no lazy wives. Another app that we're going to do is Bargument. So, you really want to tell your friends that there are 30,000 seals in Africa. So, what you do is you type in 30,000 seals in Africa, put a picture, and then what it does is it'll generate a fake Wikipedia page that'll prove to everyone there are 30,000 seals in Africa. I'm also going to Startup Weekend this weekend. I'll be there. Hope to see you. Thanks.
Okay, so time to grill Ethan. Who's got questions?
I have a classic idea. You might want to put a TM by Lazy Husband on that. That just tells the world it's not trademarked yet, but I might, so beware. I've notified you.
Anyone else? You.
How are you marketing this?
We launched at South by Southwest.
Okay.
So we were at the Vegas Tech booth during that. So we did a lot of the interviews. We have a Twitter at Lazy Husband app. We should be running another Lazy Husband phrase contest in the future. And my Twitter is at Ethan Duggan. We also have stickers to hand out if you want them. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
So when are you coming out with Lazy Wife?
It is out. We are working on getting it on iPhone. So it's on, all of them are on Kindle and Android, and we're working on Lazy Husband for iPhone.
Are you going to do an ex-husband app?
Which technology was the hardest to learn for you?
I learned JavaScript from Code Academy and then stared at other people's HTML and CSS. I'd have to say that probably JavaScript, because it's the most complicated out of the three.
Good answers.
Anyone else? Last call is anyone else?
Good job.
Okay.
Good job.
Your presentation was so good, there was no question.
All right, so I don't think we actually talked about the order tonight, so let's do it this way so everyone's prepared. Next up is Alice. So Mike. Then Taylor, you're next. Then Brian. And then Chad. And then Mickey. Is Mickey here? Yeah.
go. PC. Hey! Success.
We need
So-
to get you a Windows 8 license.
So my name is Mike Yoder. I am with Wintech LLC. I'm co-founder and CTO. We're the developers of Alice Receptionist. And Alice Receptionist is a virtual receptionist designed for both small and large companies to manage their visitor traffic to office buildings or lobbies areas. So what Alice Receptionist does, let me get it started here, is, so like I said, it manages visitor traffic. So you might ask, why would a company want a virtual receptionist in their building, or what benefit does Alice provide? And basically, what Alice will do is it'll greet visitors as they walk into a lobby area. It'll notify employees of their arrival. If I can get her to start here. Let's try that one. And then it actually allows the two visitor and the employee to communicate via two-way video. So what I'm loading here is a pretty typical Alice system. It's set up for a multi-tenant building with a list of companies there to your right. And as visitors walk in, Alice greets them. So it's just like a real receptionist. So the demo we're going to provide tonight is going to include my co-worker here, Patrick, as an employee in the building, and I'll be a visitor. And so what we're going to demonstrate is how Alice greets a visitor as they come in the front door. At the same time, it'll notify the employee that the visitor has arrived, and then it'll also connect the two via two-way video.
Hello, I'm Alice,
So this is the
your
welcome
virtual
message.
receptionist. Please wait here as I
Volume down a little bit. So now you can see I've got Patrick up here on the screen. So if I'm a visitor, I can see Patrick. He can see me, and I can also see myself here in the little small window. So just that quickly, a visitor is greeted when they walk in the lobby. The employee is notified, so the employee knows somebody's in there, and then he answers, and they're connected in a two-way conversation. So that basically is what your receptionist is doing when she's in your front lobby. The reason why companies, and Patrick, yeah, if you'd hang up, please. The reason why companies are going away from receptionists, obviously there's a cost reason for that. There's also a reason that basically the business to customer communication is changing. So there's not as much customers going into a building. It's a lot more communication through the web, through social media, through call centers or whatever. And so companies are laying off the receptionists. And we wanted to provide a solution that sort of bridged the gap between an expensive and not necessarily productive full-time position and just leaving your lobby empty, which is sort of cold and unprofessional. There's a lot of other features which I won't be able to cover. So what I'm going to do is, I'll show you one or two things. Real quickly, once you drill down on a company, you can see a list of employees within that company. So if the visitor is there to see a specific person, they can click on their card. It'll initiate that call to the employee. We have information that we provide to the visitors,
This
like
map
maps
shows your current location and other points of interest.
and other information that would be useful to a visitor to a office building or complex. Once again, let me run real quick. I've got a minute-long video which will sort of highlight some of the other features in a much faster way than I can speak in a minute. So I will run that.
Can be confusing. Presenting Alice, a new kind of receptionist. Like any good receptionist, Alice greets visitors, notifies employees of the visitor's arrival, and connects visitors with employees in face-to-face conversation without the employee having to leave their desk. With Alice, now a single receptionist can monitor and manage many locations. Using the Alice software, a receptionist can see, engage, and help visitors throughout a building, city, or even across the country, all from the convenience of their own desk. Alice can even keep your employees connected when they're out of the office. Calls can be forwarded to any phone number, tablet device, or smartphone. Alice receptionist systems come in a variety of hardware configurations to match any building environment. Ready to learn more? Just visit alicereceptionist.com and discover why companies around the world are choosing Alice.
Thank you. Questions?
So it detects a person walking in and it speaks first.
So we have a couple different scenarios it can be set up and configured under. That's what we refer to as operator mode. So yes, it actually, in operator mode, as soon as it recognizes somebody walking in the building, it welcomes them, and it connects an employee, like we just demonstrated, who sees that person walking in and then interacts with them. So in that scenario, they don't have to touch the device at all. It's just someone pops up, how can I help you? We also have a self-service mode, which you may see the system out here is typically running in that mode, which is more of a, they wait for the visitor to interact with that, and by navigating through the directory and finding the person they want to talk to. Ethan?
What are the chances of this going Terminator on us?
Terminator? If we put it on wheels. But you know, she's not that bad of a looking Terminator. So.
That's how they start.
That's right.
Like, can I virtually wait for somebody to walk through the door? Can I, if I'm expecting someone, can I click on something and then just watch the front door and wait till that person gets there and jump up, do with whatever?
Yeah, that is actually not in the version we have released today, but it's actually already been built. We're just going through the testing of our next client version, and that is a feature that will be in there probably within the next 30 days. It'll be available.
And then can I videotape just my whole front area?
So security is a big portion of what we're going to be working on this year because we are going after enterprise and government agencies. And so there's going to be a whole slew of security features like taking snapshots of everybody who walks in, time stamping, on-demand recording, that sort of thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
Who's your ideal customer for this?
So,
company size-wise?
Sure. When we started, we thought it would be small, medium businesses because for the small, medium business, they can use their existing staff and manage their lobby, which is great. But what we found is actually the financial benefits are much larger for large organizations. So like we've got a company in California, Flextronics, they have a campus with 9 buildings, I think, and they have one receptionist, and the other ones, they have to check in with her, and then they go to the other buildings. They're putting Alice at all those other buildings, and she can now manage all those buildings remotely from that one location. And so for large organizations, and we have a couple of large organizations that are looking to utilize it as, they're not replacing receptionists, they're getting better utilization out of the receptionist. So instead of that receptionist managing one location, she can manage many. So I think larger organizations is where we're going.
And then what's the, I guess, traffic flow rate that they can deal with? Because I don't know if it's a bottleneck or...
Right. So what you can do is with the client application, you can actually put people on hold. I didn't demonstrate that, but you can put people on hold as it's sort of like a switchboard is how they manage their call. So they get notified when somebody's at another location. They can answer that, or they can put it on hold, or whatever. It's just going to be, scenario that is based by each company, how much traffic they have. Of course, you can add more kiosks and add more remote people to manage that if you need to scale up.
Is there going to be an inherent learning curve with regard to people walking into an establishment expecting a real human being and not necessarily knowing that there's a kiosk that's going to serve that purpose?
So that's why we have the motion detection, right? So it greets them as soon as they walk in. And really what we're solving right now is not necessarily replacing the receptionist that's already there, but companies that have already chosen not to have a receptionist. So that you've got a bell that you ring or buzzer, or you've got a list of directory and you have to pick up the extension, call someone. So that's not a very intuitive solution either. This is way more intuitive, impressive, and like I said, she greets you and talks to you and interacts with you. And in the operator mode, a live person just pops up and starts talking to you. Right? So it's really intuitive for the visitor.
I have a question for like professional service businesses, doctors, lawyers, etc. Do you have a queuing mechanism so when somebody checks in, they know that they're in a certain order to the next person that checks in?
Not really. We haven't really done a whole lot of check-in components yet. That is also something that's on the drawing board for badge printing and some more of those type of check-in features. That's probably going to be out toward the end of this year or next year. So right now we don't have that kind of queuing system in place.
Can I choose between a blonde or brunette?
That's probably the most common question. You can. I mean, we provide the Alice that you saw on the screen tonight, but it's really, you can record your own, and many of our companies have, using internal employees, or you can record a professional one. That doesn't really matter to us. Thank you.
Plug it in and hope, right? We don't have any like microphone or anything like that. Where's the? Yes. So many do you need?
There's no microphone.
Let's actually use.
Got 6 companies and no microphone. 7?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right.
You just have to project.
Oh no, I'm talking about there's some audio. That's right.
Cool. It should be good now. Check it out.
Just check real quick.
Yes.
Cool. We ready?
Ready to roll?
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Taylor Dondich. I'm with the company Nihongo Master. I'm the founder. Now, Nihongo is the Japanese word for the Japanese language. So the company name literally means Japanese Master. We're online social language education. Obviously, we're teaching Japanese initially, but we won't stop there. Additional languages will be coming down the pipeline. So if anyone here has been trying to study a foreign language on their own, they've possibly bought Rosetta Stone, or they bought books, they bought audio CDs to listen to in the car, and then about a week or so they threw it in the trash, or basically it's gathering dust. The problem with those activities is it's very, very siloed. It's very isolated. You're doing it on your own. It's very tedious, and there's a lot of attrition, meaning that you're basically going to stop the activity after a while. How many people have actually heard, oh, I tried to learn Spanish, but I kind of forgot it, or I dropped off, things like that. What makes us different is that it's a social experience. We leverage social competition and collaboration, and the way we do that is you're scoring points, you're getting achievements, you're ranking against other people, you're forming teams, you're working together, and through that effect, we make learning a language entertaining, more engaging. As a result, our students are sticking to their studies longer, and they're learning languages faster. So let's go ahead and take a look at it real quick. This is a screen of me being logged into Nihongo Master. This is my profile page. You can already see some of the gamey kind of techniques there. I have my point score here on the top right. This is allowing me to rank against other learners. You can see some of the achievements that I've gotten through various activities on the site. Maybe I learned a certain set of lessons, or maybe I answered somebody's question. For example, this is an achievement called Sleep is for the Weak. Stay logged into Nihongo Master for 24 hours consecutively. I did it, obviously, because I made the site, but other people are surprisingly getting this achievement too. This is another fun one. This is Drill Baby Drill, and that's called, that's if you complete 100 drills in one day. That's supposed to be our little Sarah Palin kind of motif there. So there's a lot of gaming elements to it, right? But it's also very social. So if I scroll down, you can see other people's activity on the site. What lessons are they reading? Are they doing well on their quizzes? Are they doing drills? Are they asking questions? So it's a very social activity. You can follow other people. They can follow you. They can ask questions. You can answer them, or vice versa, and you'll get rewarded for that activity. Okay? Language instruction, we power it with very, very powerful, top-quality language instruction. We have a classroom with over 150 lessons. We're releasing new lessons weekly. So let me give you an example of one of the lessons. This is one of the first lessons where we actually start teaching the very basics of Japanese, the Japanese vowels. So it's called hiragana, right? So you can actually scroll down and start to see some of the the letters that are in place. We'll even take it one step further. We'll actually show you how to draw the characters in Japanese. And as you get into further, more advanced Japanese, that becomes even more complex. But we walk it through you. That's something that our competitors don't even do. And then there's also the vocal and sound aspect. We have a native speaker that does a bunch of recordings. You can play it. I don't think anyone... Oh, you can hear it. Awesome. So you can hear her native speak, and then you can record your voice, play it side by side, and perfect your pronunciation. And then at the bottom of the lesson, there are people out there, there's other students who are reading this lesson and basically leaving notes on maybe possibly tips on how to improve learning the content, and then other people are voting for that feedback and scoring points for that. So that's one example of a lesson. Here's another lesson that provides some more illustrative work. We definitely provide lessons that have pictures, sound, video to help bring the lesson quality up. So this is another lesson, and you can see we have grammar rules, vocabulary, pretty standard stuff for learning a language. But another next really powerful part on our system is the dojo. Now this is adaptive drilling. This is drills that will drill you on what you've learned in the lessons and then adapt to how well you're progressing through it. So if you are progressing very well, if you know the content, you're answering drills very correctly all the time, then we won't ask you so often. But if you're struggling with a concept, we're going to drill you even harder on that. So for example, on this, if I answer it incorrectly or correctly, I'm going to get feedback. This is correct. I scored points. My point value went up. You can see this was worth 1 point. When did I answer it incorrectly or correctly? Here's another question. I'm going to go ahead and answer something incorrectly. It's going to say, oh, you got it incorrect. I'm going to have to ask you this more often and often. So these drills adapt to your speed and to your pace of learning. So that's one of the powerful aspects of our site. We also have a very powerful dictionary, other tools. Tons of people are using this site, over 6,000 registered users. We've turned on our revenue model, and the community continues to grow and be very, very passionate about this project. Our community is so passionate about it, they've already started asking, when are you going to start teaching other languages? We got requests for French, German, Italian, Yiddish. And so that is down the pipeline. We want to teach English as a secondary language, start deploying that out into other markets, and we hope to be really successful there. You can correct your pronunciation, correct your grammar, plus our Japanese instructor is in those events also assisting as well. So, good question. You, sir.
You mentioned you have a revenue model now. How do you charge for the service?
Very, very good question. So we have a freemium model. So we do have a basic set of lessons to get you started in reading Japanese, writing Japanese, and constructing simple sentences. That content is always available. If you want to go a step further and get access to all of our lesson content, like I said, we release new content every week. That is a really affordable monthly subscription charge. Right now we're charging $12 a month. And that gives you access to a couple even more cool advanced study features, such as creating custom vocabulary and kanji study lists and sharing them out with people. That way you don't have to wait for us to create new content. You can actually produce content to drill yourself on and share that with others. Yes?
What level of proficiency can you achieve both conversationally, grammatically,
So,
auditorially?
good question. Because we do take the classroom approach, we teach you from the ground up. We teach you how to write, we teach you the grammar rules, and you're actually interacting, you're actually practicing with other people. So our goal is to make it so not only are you conversant with Japanese in both conversational as well as polite situations, but also be able to write it and read it effectively. So we teach you from the ground up. So we're also covering all those unique culture points and things like that. So you might talk differently if you're talking to a teacher or a boss as opposed to maybe a peer or a friend or a sibling. So we cover all those rules. And these are rules that are very important in everyday conversation, no matter if it's Japanese or even other languages. But other solutions out there, whether it be Rosetta Stone or other solutions which are tailored specifically for teaching like business versions of the language, they don't cover that. So we try to do an over-encompassing approach. Now, with the content that we have right now, you can learn pretty much beginner Japanese, but like I said, we're rapidly on a content release cycle to make sure that we get to that point where you can become completely fluent, and that's our goal. And there should be no excuse because we also have a very optimized mobile experience as well. So, if you're on the train or if you're in your car or whatever, parked, don't drive, you should be able to do your studies there as well. Yes?
Keyboard, how do you handle the special characters?
So many of the operating systems already have alternative input methods, so you can write Japanese in Mac. Mac is very easy. Windows 7, Windows 8, they already have input methods for that. Even iPad and iPhone also have that, so we instruct you on how to set that up and get that going for you. Here's in the rear.
How are you marketing? What's your marketing?
It's fantastic. We don't have a big marketing budget. This month we spent about $1,000 on marketing. That's not a lot. We leverage our community because social is a very important aspect of our business. We really try to build community evangelists. And these are people who are very passionate about our product. They reach out to the various forums and they spread the word of our product. One of the aspects that we do is that if you do subscribe, we send you a shirt, I send you a letter, I send you stickers, and just from that, we've been able to build up our collection of community evangelists who help spread the word, and that's been way more valuable than any Google Ads campaign ever. Go ahead.
Do you see yourself owning a different category or subcategory than Rosetta Stone, and in some ways both of you coexist, or are you basically in the
We are the destroyers of Rosetta Stone. Isn't that every company, right? We are the destroyer. We are the absolute disruptor of the industry. No, I mean, Rosetta Stone has their own learning method, and it's effective in some ways, but it's going to only take you so far. We have our own learning method, so we have two different ways to approach the problem. But in the end, we're all about spreading language, knowledge, creating linguistic diversity, and I think that's a very promising thing to spread in the world.
How are you defensible? What prevents Rosetta Stone from emulating what you're doing?
So Rosetta Stone has been around for a long time, and their entire hook is the immersion method, right? That is their model. And the immersion method is basically they show you a picture of an apple, and you hear the foreign word for an apple, and about 5,000 times you're going to make that mental connection that that word means apple, right? And for them to have to adapt and change their teaching model to this would mean them basically saying, oh, we were wrong about our method. So it would be very disruptive to their existing business model to try and switch to something like this. Any other questions? And wait for it.
See Japan from Sarah Palin's backyard.
What's
Is it?
a lot of our achievements like try to poke fun at American culture, and people love that.
Yeah.
People love it.
Yeah.
What's that?
So the business card bucket was going around. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity. If not, just drop it when you can. Do you need audio? How many of you guys have heard of Histophy before tonight? Good.
Brandon? Ethan. I think you need to come out with a Lazy Brother app. I think it would have been perfect for both of us. So I want to start off tonight with asking a question. Who here is wearing a wedding ring?
Or should be.
All right. So what's your name, sir? Adam. And what's your wife's name, Adam? Robin. Can you put your hand up and kind of show everyone your wedding ring? Now, to most of us, when we see Adam's wedding ring, we probably just look at it as a wedding ring. But to Adam, when he looks at it, he experiences something more. Perhaps it's his first date with his wife, his first kiss, the image of her walking down the aisle with her father. Because to Adam, it's more than just a ring. It's a connection to his memories. Now, this is the question: what do we do with these unique and insightful memories that we connect to through our objects? Histophy was created to answer this question. A combination of the words history and stuff. Histophy is a social platform for creating and sharing our personal objects and the memories that they hold. It's a easy way to keep it in front of us, and it's great. So how do you use Histophy? Well, it first starts with all our objects around us. It could be anything. It could be a ticket stub from the Rolling Stones in your drawer. It could be a Father's Day card from your daughter that's on the refrigerator table. It could be a tiki shot glass from a tech conference in Vegas. Now, I don't have a wedding ring, but I did stumble across this map of Munich the other day in my closet. And when I saw it, I instantly thought of the first day I was at Oktoberfest and how I wandered the streets of Munich for 3 hours because I couldn't find the hostel I was staying at. So, to share this on Histophy, I simply upload the image of the object. Next, I type what the object is and the memory that it triggers. And if I want, I can add more pics, and I can add people that were also there to share. Now, each person that I select to add to the story will receive a notification to add to the story. See, Histophy uses a closed comment system. So these are the only people that can add to the story, to my story. So it looks good. We click Exhibit. And this is what it looks like in full view. Now, whenever I come across an object that triggers a memory, I can add it to my museum. What you get is a first-person account of my life, the stories of what I've seen, what's impacted me, what's memorable to me. For instance, why I almost got my first tattoo because of a book, or how my mom scolded a famous baseball player because he didn't reply to the letter I sent him. When to share Histophy, you can look at others and you can look at the wall of other people that you're following. I've learned some pretty interesting stuff on Histophy. For instance, my father posted this picture of this plaid shirt. Looks pretty simple, pretty boring, but it was actually his lucky shirt back in the day. The shirt that he wore when both my brother and I were born. And there's a funny story he puts in there. His law partner was ecstatic that I was born on a Saturday, so my father didn't have to take off of work. So, before you leave tonight, please take one of these tiki shot glasses. It'll be perfect for summertime. And at some point, maybe tonight, maybe next week, maybe next month, you'll look at this tiki shot glass and some memory will trigger. And whatever that memory will be, it'll be unique to you. And when it happens, make it part of your museum. Welcome to Histophy. Thank you. Questions?
What's going to be your eventual business model?
This is an opportunity that Brian Loopside, co-founder of Histophy, for a subscription-based service. Right now, you can add 3 pictures to your memory, opening that up for maybe a monthly subscription to add unlimited pictures, storage, other things like perhaps adding music to your memory to help it come alive a little bit. But from a bigger perspective, I think about branding. And what are brands trying to do? They're trying to sell you something, right? But they don't want to sell you just one thing. They want to sell you multiple things. They want you to identify with them. They want you to think about their lifestyle. And if you do that, if they're successful, you're going to buy more stuff. You're going to talk to other people about that particular brand. And what's a great way for brands to do that? Tell stories. Histophy is essentially a storytelling platform. And it's that kind of opportunity that they can come in, tell their own stories, highlight their history. But not only that, what about other people writing stories for them? I think about Harley Davidson. Imagine Harley Davidson has a page on Histophy, and they allow other people to create content for that particular page. So you have people posting whatever Harley objects they might have, whether it's a motorcycle, a leather jacket, and talking about the story of I went riding with my wife on our first date, or to honor my late dad, I rode my Harley across country, letting the customers themselves tell the story. And that's a much more effective way to market to people than direct selling. So those are some of the ideas that we're having. Any other questions? Yes.
Let's say if I'm not a member, but my friend is, and they tag me on this. Do I have to become a member in order to comment?
Yes, you do have to become a member to comment. The content that your friend creates, if he logged in through Facebook, you sign up through Facebook, what he creates will hit his Facebook wall, so you'll have a good chance of seeing it there. To actually comment, yes, you would have to sign up for Histophy. But once you sign up, you get all the notifications that are backlogged. So if you have a whole bunch of friends that have been using it for months and you have 20 notifications, those will all be there when you get in there. All that content will already be in front of you.
So along the same lines for security, is it based on your friends on Facebook who has access to read your stories, or how do you control access?
Right now, everything on Histophy is public. Yeah. We're starting off that way. But definitely down the road, we see two opportunities. One, obviously, I think you're alluding to, is private. And second, semi-private, where it would be you looking at it and also the people that you tagged, if you will, for that particular memory. And those would be the only people that could see it. Taylor.
I didn't ask a question before. Do you have a mobile app so I can create memories on the go?
No, not at this point. It's usable on an iPhone or any phone. It's actually pretty great on a tablet, but no specific mobile app at this point. We only launched in April. I mean, it's very new, so no mobile app yet.
So, sort of talked about this before, but I was more curious about the depth of it. So who is this targeted at? Who's your ideal user of this?
We think that it's a platform that can apply to everyone. We think initially it would have a higher level of appeal to a female demographic, maybe 30 years to 50 years old, married with a family. Just because they have a huge backlog of life stories. You know, they've gone through college and growing up, marriage, having kids. Because Histophy doesn't necessarily need to be about your own stuff. It can be, I see some artwork from my kid or one of their toys that triggers a memory, or I want to write something about my kids. So we think moms are a good target initially. But it has applications because when you have family members that start reading things that they don't get on Facebook or other places, it just kind of draws them in. So it kind of starts as a very small circle and then grows from there as these family members start seeing things that they haven't seen before.
And who's your competition in this space? Is there any?
I would say, I mean, you have Facebook. I mean, you could post a picture and write a story on Facebook. Tumblr, perhaps. Instagram to some degree. But I don't think that... The thing about Histophy is that you have a concentration of memories. It does one thing, there's no noise, and it's targeted towards long-form writing. And... if I want to see sort of what a person's life has been and what they felt about it, would I go to their timeline on Facebook and comb through it and try to figure out what's important to them? Or would I go to a place like Histophy where I have a whole museum there and I know every piece of content there meant something to this person because they took the time to put it out there. So, yeah.
All right, next up, Tamaso, Chad and Joe. What is it? Excuse me.
Can we just plug it in?
Yes.
They get what inside.
Let's do this dongle. It's my favorite word. I know, right?
All right, Ethan, great job. Like I wish you were up here talking about Taviso. He's a stud. Histopi, I followed you on Twitter, so that was I'm really impressed. Chad's going to hook up to the
I forget how to do it.
to the AirPlay. One of us will do it.
Ethan's going to come and tell jokes
Ethan,
for
come
us.
hook up on where are we at? Collaboration.
Collaboration station. Okay.
There we go. Hopefully his wife sends some crazy texts while we're here of some sort. That's his daughter, Presley. She's super cute. So Taviso is, I guess I'll tell you a story. Last Saturday, my family and I have 4 kids and a wife that's way better looking and smarter than I am. And on Saturday night, we didn't have anything to do. So we literally talked about renting a movie from the iTunes store. Again, like we do every Saturday night. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to pull out Taviso and just see what's going on around me. So I did a 30-mile radius search. I saw that at the Rio Hotel, they were having the Aloha Festival. And so I texted the event from Taviso to another one of my friends, actually 2 of them, and our 3 families met down at the Rio for the Aloha Festival. So within probably an hour of finding the event, we were eating shaved ice and Kahlua pork, and it was amazing. At the end of this month, my wife and I did a search, and I said, the Imagine Dragons are one of my favorite bands out of Vegas. And I saw them here in Vegas, and I said, I want to see them again. So I took the map down to LA, and I typed in Imagine Dragons. When are the Imagine Dragons playing? And I saw that on May 29th, they're playing the Hollywood Palladium. So we bought tickets, and now we're booked to go. So Chad's going to do a quick search to show, this is the discovery method, one of the discovery methods of Taviso. So he's going to have the app find his location, and he's going to do a quick search within a mile of our current geographic location for any of the events that are happening within a mile of where we currently are. So his phone's locating him at this point, and he is going to do a quick search to say what's happening within a mile of the Innovation Center. So right now the New Tech Tour is taking place. Tomorrow, if you're still here, Bagels from your buddies at Taviso is taking place here. And so one of the cool things that happens is when you find an event you're interested in, you can do a number of things with it. Our little logo, our smiley face, when you tap on that button, it tabs that event as our version of pinning something. And now it goes into a social stream of events that all of your friends can find. That everyone that follows Chad now sees that he'll be here at Bagels with your buddies at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. You can drill into, you can share it on other platforms. You can scroll down really quick, Chad. So I can scroll down and I can say, well, what else is happening at the Innovation Center? So it'll pull up the Innovation Center's page, and there's a link to their website. All of the events that are taking place here. Tomorrow we're giving away an iPad mini. Taviso is, so if you haven't downloaded the app, do so and you can qualify to win. Startup Weekend's happening this weekend, and so it's a way for us to find things that are happening at our current location that we're interested in. Really quick, I'm going to have Chad do a search and say Chicago, Illinois. So I'm going to have him go back out to the map and do a search, and as if my family and I were taking a trip to Chicago June 1st through the 5th. And this was kind of one of the reasons Taviso was born, was my frustration with not only not knowing what's going on around me in my current location, but I was going to Hawaii, poor pit upon me, for the second time in 6 months. And we had been to all of our favorite spots, and so I thought there has to be some other cool stuff happening in Hawaii while I'm there. So Chad's he's already selected Chicago. Now he's going to select a date range of June 1st through the 5th. And Dan Jenkins wants to know who else wants to play.
It's basketball.
I'm so sure it's basketball. And so June 1st through the 5th, and it's going to do a search of all the events taking place in Chicago June 1st through the 5th. So teacher training I have no interest in. And so I'm able to scroll really fast. Grace Lake Craft Beer Festival. I don't drink beer, but if they'd include some root, I might take a stop by. Essential Knife Skills is happening. And so now I can look and see if I don't drink, but I do want to learn how to use knives. That event becomes super relevant. So anyways, music events, UFC events. Tabiso is the place where the world's events live. We currently have about 1.5 million events in our database. Our second largest city is, we launched in March. We have about 12,000 users so far. Our second largest city is in Madrid, Spain. And so when we were at South by Southwest, it was fun. People would come up and say, well, you're not going to have any events where I'm from. Where are you from? And I'm from Turkey. So we drill into their city, Istanbul or whatever, and a whole feed of events would pop up. So that's one of the fun things about Tabiso. And we didn't even get to the social stream, so I did a bad job of time management. But anyways, that's Tabiso.
So tell us about your social stream.
Hey, thank you so much. So event discovery is a busy space. We recognize that there's some competition there. One of the areas that we feel we are unique is our social engagement. And so Tabiso is a series of unilateral relationships, meaning I can follow Richard and he can follow me, but we're not necessarily friends. It's like Twitter. If I want to see what he shares, but he doesn't want to see what I share, I can just follow him and he doesn't have to follow me. So as Chad scrolls up the stream, there's different events that people share that they find interesting to them. You see, First Friday showed up a few times, and the virality of events on Tabiso is something that we're having a lot of success with with our clients currently. But different events are being shared and discussed and liked. Like, scroll down really quick, Chad. So we have our So our iPad giveaway. Our iPad giveaway has been shared, roughly 200 times on our Tabiso network by different people that have shared it on Tabiso. They put it on their Facebook page. They tweeted it out.
I like it right now.
And so Chad just liked that event. And so if he hits the face there, now he's tabbed that event, and everyone that follows Chad tabs it. So some of the cool stuff that you can do from your profile as well is scroll down a little bit, Chad. So when you see something like this, James Healy is one of our users in Australia. So click on James Healy, and you can go right into his profile. So you can see his followers, who he follows, the performers and organizations he follows, the venues and all the events he's tabbed. And so it's we hesitate to say it's a social network, but it's an event discovery application with a very heavy social component. So that's right.
We believe that you can discover events and have all those things, but the most relevant events to you most likely are going to be the things that your friends are interested in and your friends are going and some of those things. So the social component brings a value to the utility that is much stronger. If the more friends you have on it, contributing to that social feed, it becomes better for you.
Yeah, a lot of the event discovery applications work off of some sort of suggestive mechanism that we haven't figured out exactly, because when I download them, I don't know what it is about me, but the top 3 suggested events are usually like Chippendales, like pole dancing classes, and something else, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a good family guy. But anyways, so...
Where do you get the data from?
So we aggregate from probably a few 15 different sources of it. So we have Meetup, Active.com. A lot of what we get through Eventful. We have a team of data input personnel both here and in the Philippines. And within the next couple of weeks, we're going to be launching our back end. We're going to open up our back end to users. So you'll be able to go on and create a barbecue for your family and friends. Or if you run a cycling club here in Vegas, you'll be able to create events in places you're meeting with the buddies you cycle with.
As well as our partners, as we go out and are working with the individual brands, they are able to take over their accounts and produce their own content.
So one of the accounts that's waiting for our back end to open up is like DC Shoes. They've got a 13 million user social footprint, and their event space is a disaster. So we met with them last week, and when we open up our back end, they're going to start using Tabiso to broadcast their events to their fans on other social networks.
How are you guys making money?
So we have 2 pre-critical mass and 2 post-critical mass revenue streams. And so right now we get commission on every ticket that's sold through Tabiso. We have different ticketing sources that you can, when you use the buy ticket link, there's multiple, StubHub and Tickets Now, things like that. We are also managing accounts for businesses. We launched that about 2 weeks ago. And we're signing up businesses that don't want to do their data input themselves when we open up the back end, so they pay us to do it for them. as we gain more users, event promotion, which is the biggest piece of our pie we factor, will become very important, as well as upgraded accounts for venues so that they can interact with the users in a more organic way than just broadcasting their events. It's probably vague.
Nice filter. It's like, notice now when I'm looking for events and stuff, I get a lot of like the local, like the club and this, you know, and it just doesn't apply to me. I'm just looking for where I can go with the kids. You know?
For sure. Yeah, so we're 2.0. We just put 1.5 in the App Store. Within the next couple of weeks, we're going to be hitting 2.0. And we didn't want to just throw our categories out there. We needed to do it a little bit more intelligently. So when 2.0 hits the App Store within the next 4 to 5 weeks, it'll have a pretty heavy categorized component. You can right now just type in family when you do a search and a radius, and it'll kick out family events, but it's not as good as we'd like it to be. So categories will be coming up here in the next few weeks.
Android and iPhone?
iPhone only right now. We were building out Android and iPhone, and then we went and met with Kevin Rose, one of my friends from childhood. We grew up together and used to fist fight and stuff. So he just said, focus on the iPhone. You guys are being stupid trying to do both at the same time. So we feel like 2.0 will be a product that we're comfortable enough to push out on Android. But initially, it would have been a disaster to do both at the same time. We have. So Chad got one of his tabs favorited while we were doing this. So hopefully, no more sketch.
Look at my little daughter. She knows the cutest little thing. So let me disconnect that.
Hopefully, no more sketchy texts pop up while he's doing this.
Whatever, chicken. Thank you. Okay, I'm not sure how that's.
I'm a good. Yeah. Hey. I have a cable here. Oh, no, we're all good. Okay, cool. No.
Here's her to Imagu. You have.
She's part of Imagu.
There you go.
Cool.
Mickey Hernandez.
Let me,
Your desktop's extended.
Yeah, just mirror your display.
You can mirror it if you
Yeah,
want.
no, I'm actually gonna.
Using a fancy.
How do you do it? Well, it's the mouse for some reason.
Play your system press.
Oh, there it is. Cool. I was about to. System press. Displays. Cool. Displays. Cool. There we go. Hi guys.
Hi.
I'm Mickey. I'm from Imagu. We're a social polling and comparison site. Essentially what we do is we compare two items, which are pictures of anything you own or possess, against one another. So essentially say I have a cool car, and my friend has a cool car, and at school we're talking crap back and forth, hey, my car's better than yours, blah, blah, blah. I take a picture of my car, shoot him a challenge, he accepts, all of our connections are prompted to vote, and so it's basically a way to say, hey, mine's bigger than yours, and in and out, right? So I'm going to start with the feed. I'll kind of show you both web and iPhone app, and yeah, we'll go from there. So here's the feed. As you can see, I'm actually in a challenge with my PR girl, Katie, whose Nike shoes are better. There she is with her Nike shoes. Another Nike shoe comparison. Here is a your bill ain't shit comparison. And obviously you can go through and vote on each of these comparisons, right? So the goal is to get as many votes as possible on your comparison, so then at the end of the comparison, you have a response essentially as to which item is better. So it's a way to poll your friends on what is better or what you should do. So that's our challenge feature. In addition to that, we have a this or this feature, which is a way to compare two of your own things. So essentially, say you're at a store, you don't know what shirt to buy, you snap a quick picture of both shirts, and then you poll your friends on which shirt you should buy. And by the time you leave the store, you have 30 to 40 to 50 votes as to which shirt you should buy, and you have a response. So I'm going to run through how to create a challenge real quick so you guys can check it out. Okay. So I'm going to upload a picture of my presentation. Hi, guys. Cool. Use Amagu presentation. Whatever. Cool. Submit. Just going to upload this item. Cool. So now, while you guys were presenting, I was taking pictures. So, let me pull up another. So say, for example, let me see if I can show you a bigger picture. So this is one of the fellow presentations that was up, and now, we're going to find out which presentation is better. So, I am going to kick your ass. Here we go. So you submit the challenge. You set a time limit. Submit.
Everyone vote there.
Yeah, and everyone is more than welcome to go. I created an account for everyone. It's SF Tech, and the password is password. So feel free to download it, and I'll have my fellow girlfriend Michelle there accept the challenge for me. Oh, there it is, and I can vote, and all my friends can vote. So you can enter the challenge, look at the pictures, double tap, all kinds of stuff, right? So yeah, any way. So it's a way to compare two things. So I'm going to show you guys a quick snippet of the site. Here's essentially the same thing. We have all of our feed with all of the content, all of the challenges, all of the comparisons, and you can basically go straight down through these and vote on them. So here's a shoe challenge with my girlfriend and some other girl. What shoes are better? Hers. And I can go in here and comment, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can also open up our quick vote feature which guarantees a user 10 to 20 votes. So say I create a challenge. The challenge is posted on this quick vote feature for the entire community to see, and everyone comes in this feature and votes. So once again, the whole goal is to get as many votes as possible to get the most definitive responses possible from all of your friends, followers, and the Amagu community, essentially. So there you go, just voting through these. And eventually we'll run into some funny ones, but I'm not going to sit here for... Here we go. Who has more swag, Goku or Cell? Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically Amagu.
What's the revenue model?
We're exploring a couple different methods, but our main revenue model is going to be providing a business a premium plan where they can upload a challenge or upload a this or this and get in-depth analytics on what their on what their comparison is. So say, for example, it's Apple. How should our next iPhone be, or how should our next iPhone look? That might be an example. And then basically what we do is we provide them 100 to 200 votes of people, or whatever that number is. They would sign up for a vote number. They would pay us. We would provide them the people who would then go in the comparison and vote and give them direct feedback. Right. So yeah, that's what we're thinking. Go ahead.
What is the incentive to users to vote?
To basically back up their friends, right? If I create a challenge, I'm going to post it to Facebook, I'm going to post it to Twitter, I'm going to tell everyone, hey, you need to come in and vote on my item. You need to help me prove that I'm better than the next person, right? I'm superior, I'm number one, right? And yeah, I mean, the incentive is to basically help your friend out to win the challenge. And what we've noticed so far since we've launched, we've only been up for about 2 weeks. People are sticking around the site and they're voting for about an hour at a time. They're just going through all of our votes to our quick vote and just voting all day long. And basically what we're going to be able to do eventually is filter through categories. So you're going to be able to filter through targeted categories for specific items. So say you want to vote on cars all day or vote on Ferrari cars. You can essentially just vote on cars for the entire day. Whatever entertains you, basically, you can vote on.
Do you have a not safe for work section?
What do you mean not safe for work?
How or not?
How or not? Yes.
Well, yeah.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. We're all for everyone comparing their girlfriends and boyfriends. 100%. Oh, 12-year-old, yes, and they also have their sections. So, any other questions? Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Android, iPhone?
iPhone and web, right now.
You may want to consider a prize for the winner. And you go online and both of you chip in, or whoever loses buys a $10
something, a dinner card.
Gifted. Yeah.
And we have thought about that. What we want to do eventually is we want to create lists within each tag. And we want to rank every single item in the world. So say you have a shirt that you just bought, you would take a picture of that shirt and it would give you a ranking in comparison to everyone else in the world. So you'd essentially be able to say, I have the 2000th coolest Camaro in the United States of America. So the goal is to be able to rank absolutely every single product on a business, from a business standpoint and from a consumer standpoint, under every single tag.
It's the ultimate bragging rights.
Yeah, the ultimate bragging rights is what it is.
We have things set up so that the loser can be demanded to perform humiliating tasks.
No, we do not. We figure the loss is humiliating enough. I mean, what you're going to end up having is 50 votes, and say you lose 50-1, you're going to have 1,000 comments below it with people saying, "Hey, you suck." So we figure that's enough punishment for the loser.
Actually, if you look at playing with it, look at energy, and it's really about getting support. You're following. You can do a lot of things that could impact either a business that wants to offer something and getting a comparison, a kind of a pre-sell, or the loser could do something extraordinary in the community, which go out and work in the shelter all day, or raise money.
Yeah.
Do stuff that.
We have thought about activities, but we're going to have to figure out a way for people to stop others from doing from doing irresponsible things. Like running around UNLV with their pants down, whatever.
You're a jackass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Any other questions?
Very good.
Huh?
All right, so we've got one more. That wasn't on the original ticket, but Alex works in the building, and it's working on something pretty cool with your quilter.
Yeah.
And this is the last demo of our new tech tour.
They've been great.
I don't know. Thank you.
This is the new tech tour. What happened to the old tech tour?
The old tech tour.
Run down the podcast.
The old tech tour. That's a few versions back. We don't need that one. Nobody wants to. That's like the iPhone.
All right. So I am with Thread Bias, and we are an online sewing community. We launched last year, and we also launched this year in February a quilt design tool that is a subscription service that lets you design quilts right inside your web browser. So I'm just going to show you around the community really quick. Basically, this is the home page. We've got some featured projects that are curated by the folks at Thread Bias. Eventually, we'll be building that out into pure social as to what's actually featured. We have a lot of folks who post their projects on the site and show off what they're doing. Anyone who creates crafts likes to show off what they're doing, and this gives them a great platform to post pictures and give a background story of what's going on with what they've done. They can come back over time and keep updating and fill in more information and get feedback from the community. Some of the more popular folks have quite a following, and they get huge streams of comments going on the site. And you can follow each other and get a little activity stream going on. We have forums where you can discuss any kind of sewing related activity. We are a sewing community. There's probably more of a quilting focus on the site, primarily because that's the background of the my wife and sister, who are my partners in the company, and they do some kids' clothes, but mostly quilting. So a lot of that quilting focus comes out a little bit, but we are open to everyone who sews. And we have a fabric database that we've been working to get all the major manufacturers online, and we are still missing a few, but I'm headed to Quilt Market again in a couple of weeks to actually try and fill in the holes that we've got. But we've got about 75,000 fabric swatches online, which are all usable in the in the quilt design tool. And the quilt design tool is how we're making all our money. It's a subscription service. It's $10 a month, and people can have as many canvases as they want. We have storage for all of their designs, any size that they want, and it's basically a drawing application that lives inside your web browser focused on quilting. So you can design out a quilting block and then use that block in a larger quilt design if you want. It's completely free form as far as what you can do, but we put specific tools in that make it so that it's easier to build quilts. There's standard shapes that you might use in a quilt, but a lot of quilting these days is more modern, and so you might use our freeform vector tool, which just lets you draw any shape that you can imagine. But you can fill it in with any kind of fabric that you put into your stash out of that large fabric database. So you can pick a fabric and fill it in and see what it'll look like in your design. Why this is important these days is quilting is actually gaining popularity quite a bit. Over the past decade, it's the number of quilters in the U.S. has risen by 30% to 21 million. And the market size itself has risen by 130% to 3.5 billion. And a lot of the older quilters are still out there, and they're getting online, and they're spending a lot of time online, and they have money to spend, and we are tapping into that. And there's a modern quilting movement which is bringing a lot of younger people on as well. And the Modern Quilting Guild was founded in 2009, and they just launched their first convention, QuiltCon, in February of 2013 this year, and that's where we launched our quilt design tool. We had a booth there. So that's pretty much what we're doing at ThreadBias.
Are there any plans for tools for like dresses and shirts, sort of non-quilting?
Yes, we wanted to start with the quilt because that's what we know best, and so that's where we started. But down the road, we'd like to create alternative versions of this that have tools in it that are more geared towards clothing, more geared towards, say, embroidery or other sewing-related activities. Yeah.
You said you have a subscription model, but do you have an e-commerce model at all?
We are working on a partnership with an online fabric store. We can actually determine how much fabric you need in order to build your quilt, and we're working on a deal with them where we could actually figure out which fabrics you selected for your quilt, how much you need of those, and pre-populate a cart over at the shop, and through a deal with them, make some additional revenue.
Can users use Imadudes and vote for the?
They could totally upload their picture to that and get some voting going on. That's definitely a possibility. Yes.
That was on the supply side. On the demand side, would you be looking at partnerships with Etsy and places like that so that you can monetize it on both ends, help to aggregate the buys as well?
Well, what we also have is a pattern shop. We don't monetize this. It's actually part of our marketing strategy. It's a free pattern shop where people who use the quilt design tool can use it to create a design which they could then turn into a pattern and teach someone how to make that design, and they could turn around and sell it then inside of our pattern shops. And so we have that going on, and that's a free service that we offer. We don't try and monetize on top of that. And most of these people are either creating for themselves or they do sometimes try and sell on Etsy, but I don't believe that there's a whole lot that we could tap into. The margins on that are pretty thin that we would be able to leverage any kind of cut out of that kind of deal on a handmade object. Yeah.
Sorry. This seems like a perfect outlet for and a use of the API with Pinterest. I mean, do you have where people are creating content and then able to post to the Pinterest accounts and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we have links to all the major social sites out there. So when you're looking at a project, you can pin it, you can like it on Facebook, tweet it, G+. People are doing that all the time and getting that exposure out there. It's tagged with us and brings them back over here as well. We also have very active members who have pretty much are evangelists for the site. This is one of them. She tweets constantly about how awesome we are. Never met her before, but she's probably my favorite user because she's constantly screaming how awesome we are all over Twitter. So very cool. Anyone else?
Knitting is.
Yes.
How soon for that?
No, not happening, because that space is covered by Ravelry.com, which was part of the inspiration for the site that we built here. Ravelry.com has, they launched in 2007. In 2013, just this spring, they hit 3 million members. So we are basically where knitting was several years ago. Quilting and sewing and fabric-based crafts are starting to get there. So it everyone was jumping into knitting for a while, and now you're seeing a shift, especially in the younger folks, towards getting into more fabric-based crafts where they might have done some knitting, and they still do, but there's a lot of crossover. So we have people on our site who have actually come over from Ravelry. They can create groups on our site, and so you can see what kind of popular groups we have. Our most popular group is actually 154 people who came over from Ravelry. And we've got close to 6,500 people on the site now, and we have 65 subscriptions to the tool right now. So,
can you contract somebody to make a quilt?
We have extensive forums. You would be welcome to. There's forums on every topic, and I'm sure that you could reach out and find out if someone's willing to do something like that, especially if you've looked at their projects and you like what they've done. You could reach out to them.
Great idea.
All right.
All right, guys, so here's how the rest of the night's going to pan out. I'm going to put this on the screen. We're going to use wedgies for a mobile poll. We're going to do via SMS. Only $9.99 a vote. Yeah, text to that number, and each company has a number associated with it. That's the number that you're going to use to vote for them. Okay. And while that's going on, let's start the 60-second spots if anyone has anything to say, and then we'll do the drawing. And then what are we going to do then? Let's go dancing.
Yeah.
Where's busy voting?
Can I take 60 seconds?
Please do, Richard.
All right, cool. I just wanted to stand up and give a quick shout out to the Innovation Center. What do you guys think? All right. Yeah, you guys, this is an awesome place. We're actually not even open yet. We don't open until May 29th. But you were part of the pre-crowd rumble. So we've got awesome stuff going on here. If you have any questions about innovation, or you want to know more about possibly co-working or doing events or whatever else, just come find me. Let me know. I'll leave a stack of business cards as well. But I gotta say, none of this would happen without Switch and Rob Roy. Switch is the world's largest and most powerful data ecosystem, and it's about a quarter mile this way. In the words of the Russians, the internet's we has it. A million meg internet connection runs into this building, so it's an exciting place. Hope you were comfortable here. Hopefully you'll join us for more events. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Let's check in on this. Anybody have anything else to say?
I do.
Come on up.
Those of you who don't know it, we've got Startup Weekend coming up Friday. Got any questions, see me. The other big thing that happens in Las Vegas 5 times a year is an organization that meets out at Lake Las Vegas. It's called CEO Space. It's been around for about 30 years, and they focus on helping you fund money through stocks. It's an organization you meet for a whole week, and your meals are all sitting with the lecturers, so see me.
Anyone else? No? Okay, that's cool. You want to win some stuff?
Yeah!
Let's do it. Let's do it. Before we do, I think it's only right that we can properly understand a little bit better what Outlook is. for those who don't know. Many of you probably remember it as an old client.
I get to do my 60 seconds.
Yeah, this is your 60 seconds.
There we go.
That you paid for it.
Yeah, yes, true, yeah. So yeah, I mean, we've been sponsoring SF New Tech, the regular forum in San Francisco, for just over a year now. Outlook.com is, you're all familiar with Hotmail, right? That email address that you would hate to put on your business cards because I already thought it was kind of, ghetto. So Outlook.com is actually the replacement for Hotmail. It's the consumer webmail offering from Microsoft. We actually just exited preview. We just did a blog post, I think it was yesterday. We've converted all of the Hotmail users over. Don't worry, your Hotmail address is still safe. We're not getting rid of it, but we've moved them all over to the new user interface. And we've got roughly 400 million users, active users, using Outlook.com every day. One of the reasons why we sponsored SF New Tech is within Microsoft, we're trying to re-recruit the enthusiasts. The folks here that work in tech, that have got startups and that, you are the influencers within your friends and family. So the idea here is if we can get you guys to give us a chance, give us a try, see what you think about the product. You can sign up at Outlook.com. We actually have also got a website called tryoutlook.com, which will walk you through some of the switch scenarios if you wanted to use Gmail with your Outlook, because we can import your mail from Gmail. We can even actually use it to send on behalf of Gmail. So we're also on Twitter at Outlook. Any feedback that you've got, we'd love to hear it. And yeah, we just want to thank you and thank Miles for putting on this awesome tour, and thank you all for coming along and being great participants. Now it's time to win some stuff.
All right.
All right.
So the way
I'm going to do it a little bit differently this one.
Okay.
Because we got it's a bit more of a close knit crowd. So I've got a bunch of SkyDrive storage here, and what I wanted to do is actually just offer it out to everybody that presented here today. It's 3 gigabytes on top of the 7 gig that you get for free. It doesn't expire. It's cross-platform, so it runs on Windows. We've got native clients for iOS. We've got native clients for the Mac. We've got a native client even in the Android store, in the Google Play Store. So folks that have done the presentations, we'll start off with what I personally thought was the best. So we've actually found the next Bill Gates here, especially with the live demo on stage. I mean, I don't know how Bill feels when he does that and it goes wrong. So well done, that was awesome. So other folks that have presented, how are we going to do this? Shall I come out? Here you go. Have some SkyDrive storage. And some for you. So it's there you go. And yeah, there you go. Fantastic. So we've got still. Ooh, wow. Good job I didn't have that third bit. And now we're going to give away. We've got 3 more, 2 more, 3 more of these. So I'm going to go through. You have to be here to win. So if you're not in the room, you lose. Not that they'd know because they're not in the room. Grady, I'm going to mispronounce yours. Dean?
He's gone, man.
Yeah. He doesn't win anything then. Okay. Whoa. Okay.
Here's the next 3 winners.
Okay. Well, it looks like it was. Oh, I think Chad from Tobago, you already have one, right?
Yes, I already did.
In the back there. So okay. So.
What is the prize again?
We're starting off with some more SkyDrive. I've got some Windows 8 licenses and a 12-month Xbox Live subscription. So I will put you back in there in case that comes on up again. Ross W. Newman of Innovative Health Research. Come up and get anything from me. So otherwise I'm going to fall over a cable or something. Okay, so. Jim Leftwich of CHSI Technologies. Come on up. Daniel Braisted of B3LV.com. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the Windows 8 licenses. Now again, saw a lot of Macs here. This will run on your Intel-powered Mac, and it will actually put a proper operating system in it. So, okay, his stuffy. His stuff is Brian still around? Come on up. And it's going to take professional as well. We decided not to cheap out. It's actually $200 worth of software there, so not to be sniffed at. We have Holly Chandler from Blue Links. John, why did you pick one, Mike?
Pick a winner.
Yeah.
Mike Yoder.
Okay, who in the room has got an Xbox? Right. Who will be buying an Xbox when they win this?
That's going to be an expensive prize.
That's true. That's true. So, Alex, Peachy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice job. Nice job.
He's trying to stay focused. He heard the lecture.
That's right, yes.
You have to do your homework first, Ethan, before you can play.
You got an app first. Go on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can write an app.
Please
for the
don't
next
give him
video.
any more excuses not to do homework. Thank you.
All right, guys, so that just about wraps it up tonight. Thank you so much for coming down. We're honored to be here, and you guys are doing some awesome stuff. Congratulations.
And nobody's allowed to leave without a t-shirt and a stress cube.
And a tiki shot glass.
Hey guys, will you grab your garbage and bring it up to the garbage can? Thank you.
I'm Lacey Husband, student of Family
Yeah, there's a lot of folks